everybody. Welcome live to the Jim Masters Show, live entertainment lifestyle, celebrity talk show series. Thanks for joining us all around the world. I'm your host, Jim Masters, reporting for duty here in the host chair, as I always say, in the New York area, here in the United States. It's so great to have all of you here. And thanks for all the love and support of our series and all these great special friends and guests who stop in from all walks of life. And we've got somebody very special who is returning to the Jim Masters Show. She's all excited because she's going to be hitting the stage in New York City once again for a very special concert series of nights of concerts that are coming up in July. The one and only, the acclaimed Lucie Arnaz is back here on our show, coming in just a second. She's very excited because she loves being on stage and she loves interacting with the audience. And her upcoming show, if you had an opportunity to see it in the past, it is incredible. We're going to be there as well in July. It's coming up. And she, with open arms, literally invites you to get tickets and see her. See what I mean? She's like, come see me. Come see me. She's amazing. Of course, we know Lucie for so many incredible things. And, you know, you can go back in the archives and you can see the past episodes where we've talked about her illustrious career, television, film, of course, her iconic parents, Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz. We've talked about all of that and all of the glitz and all the fabulous things that we know when it comes to the Arnaz family and the wonderful Desi Arnaz, Lucille Ball, and Desi Jr., and just the whole family. We know all of that, and we love them. However, Lucie Arnaz has been somebody who has carved out her own sort of life in theater and so much more. And she's done that for such a long time. And in her amazing show, I've Got the Job, she talks about that. She celebrates in song and in words and lots of laughter and lots of stories, the memories of her time on the stages, gracing the stages in musical theater, and so much more. It really is an epic show. There is a fabulous photo from, of course, Stephen Sarkov. He's amazing, a wonderful photographer in New York. This is a show that is an absolute don't miss. I want to let you know that these shows with Lucie sell out quickly. We have our tickets. We're going to be there. And she's also going to be performing on stage with that fine gentleman you see on the piano, who she's had a wonderful friendship, Ron Abel, the one and only, the acclaimed Ron Abel. They've known each other for years. They've worked together for years. They have such a wonderful friendship, so many laughs. And if you get a chance, whether it is in New York in July or anytime you see her, you know, California, Palm Springs, or anywhere, LA, you got to get your tickets because she puts on such an extraordinary show. The stories, the tears, the laughs, it really is quite amazing. And her humor, her wit, her quick, dry wit that she's known for comes out on stage. This really is something very, very special. We're very, very excited about it. Of course, yes, you know, she was on Here's Lucie and all the rest. But do you remember she also, in terms of her illustrious theater career, which this concert performance really focuses on, and all the other things that she's done separate from Here's Lucie and all the other things that you know her for, The Witches of Eastwick. And of course, how could we ever forget Neil Simon's incredible, they're playing our song, Robert Klein and Lucie Arnaz. They had a reprise actually just a couple years ago too, which was another sold out affair in New York. Of course, her wonderful friendship with the iconic Tommy Tune, my one and only. Do you remember, of course, she was in Seesaw as well. And we saw her in Pippin, 2014, 2015. We saw her hanging from the ceiling. She was absolutely amazing. Of course, who does not ever forget Neil Diamond and Lucie Arnaz, the jazz singer? Yeah, that's another piece of American history and so much more. Did you know there's also something called the Lucie Awards? Yeah, isn't that really, really cool? We could talk about that as well. And of course, she's there with her brother at the Lucie Desi Museum up in Jamestown, New York. If you ever get a chance to see that, I encourage you to go see that. And of course, her wonderful, I think it's 44 year now, or going to be 44-year love affair with the man of her dreams, who was just a guest on our show and has a new autobiography out, the incomparable Larry Luckinbill, another acclaimed, celebrated talent, entertainer, performer, actor, playwright, director, producer extraordinaire, and a class act and a real gentleman, known for so many incredible performances on television, film, and stage. And we'll talk a little bit about their wonderful love affair as well, all these years. And they make their home in beautiful Palm Springs, California. They've been doing it for a long time together, and they are just one of the most revered and celebrated couples, because they have such respect, admiration for one another, and love for one another as well. And they're individually talented and collectively talented, and just really, really fantastic people. So that's just a short list of some of the things, and a lot of surprises and special things we're going to be talking about. Lucie's going to talk about, of course, the upcoming show, which again, we encourage you to get. You can go to lucie.arnaz.com to get tickets. You can go to 54 Below as well. But if you do want to see her doing her thing with Ron Abel, make sure you get the tickets. They're going to go fast. And of course, that's her birthday month too. July 17th is Lucie's birthday. So we're going to be celebrating in style. I see a lot of comments coming in. Well, I could talk for hours about our dear friend, the wonderful, beloved Lucie Arnaz, but I'm going to go right to it. She's waiting in the wings. She's in front of that beautiful, you won't see the window because it's the other side of the camera, but she's got that phenomenal, like $1 million Palm Springs view, sunset and all, from her lovely home. But here she is, looking like $1 million herself. The wonderful Lucie Arnaz returns to the Jim Masters Show. Lucie, welcome to the show, my dear friend.
Nobody does an intro like you do, Jim. It is just, I was kvelling in them, not even Jewish. It's so pleasant to hear you do such homework and know so much about somebody's career. It's really heartwarming. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, I tell you, my friend, the pleasure is all mine, and it truly comes from the heart. And it's so easy to talk about you and celebrate you, because you are somebody who continues to bring everybody else so much joy into their lives through song, through stories, through television and film, and these stage performances as well. And you're excited to come back to the Big Apple to knock them dead again, aren't you?
I love playing at 54 Below. I did this show there before the pandemic, and they had asked me, oh, it's so great. You sold out. It has a couple of nights. I forget, it was 1 or 2, 3 nights, maybe 2 nights. And they said, you have to bring the same show back. And I was like, what? Really? Same show? Nobody ever says that. They say, come back, bring another show. And I said, great. So we booked it for like October or something, and then they said, oh, we have to push it back a couple of months. There's a big party. Could you do it like in like April? Sure. Not, because March 12th, that was the end of the world. So then years, like 2 years went by, and before we actually rebooked that date, and I did that last summer. And I thought, well, that's great. That's 4 nights. Terrific. Wow, I did it twice. And then they called me up and they said, will you come back for 5 nights? I went, you're out of your mind. Nobody will come. I've already been there twice. Apparently not. Apparently there's a lot of people who didn't see it or who want to see it again. So I'm just trusting. They said, nope, we're going to sell out. We know we will. We always do. So I'm trusting that and just going to go because I have such a good time doing this show, especially with Ron Abel at the piano, that I'm thrilled to be back in the room and doing this great material again. It may be the last time I do that particular show in the New York area. So if somebody hasn't seen it, it might be good. It's the most authentic show I've ever done in my life. It's the one that really is about me and my life. I mean, I can make pretty much any song about me with an intro. Oh, this reminds me of blah, 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 right? But this show really actually is all stuff that happened to me and shows I was actually in and songs I sang, and they're great stories. And it's a fun show to do. I'm very happy to be going back and doing it again in New York.
It's very, very exciting too. And a lot of people have been buzzing about it too.
Yeah.
And the tickets are going very, very fast. What is it like putting it all together when you're going back and sort of your mental archives and you're thinking of those stories and the right songs to choose and working with Ron on perfecting it all. And then, it's also loose too. I mean, you have it structured and formatted, but it's also loose. You play with the audience, you play with each other, you and Ron, and everybody feels like they're participating and they're living the stories with you as well, which I think is what makes it such a beautiful time for everybody. What is that like, putting it all together and going back in those mental archives and coming up with all these great stories and songs?
Ron, I think, would say the same thing. It's our favorite thing to do, is to put shows together. It's the most creative process. Being on stage is wonderful after you've put it together. Now you get to perform it. But figuring out what you want to do, how you want to do it, you get a plethora of material. We could do 3 more shows, like volume 2 and 3 after this, because there's a lot of songs we didn't include, or shows I didn't include even. But the show's got to be a certain length, especially at 54 Below. They have another show coming in. My show's at 7. Second show is like 9:30. So I can't dilly-dally on stage too much. I have to know what I'm saying. I'm glad that it looks like it's loose. It's actually not that loose. I actually have to keep pretty tight to the pattern that I wrote that introduces things. And the song lengths are generally the same. But it has a feel that I'm sitting around at a dinner table or in somebody's living room and they're saying, "Oh, when you were in that show, weren't you in that show with so-and-so?" And I go, "Oh my God, you got to hear the funniest thing happen," or something. And you're just telling the story again. And you've told it maybe 20 times in your life because it's a great story. But now you're telling it to these people, So it was fun to figure out which of those songs that I think are killers, great tunes. How do you put them together so there aren't too many ballads together? And it's funny because one night I turned around, I was like, maybe having done this show maybe 11 times. And in the middle of the show, I turned around and I said, "Whatever possessed me to put together an entire evening of 11 o'clock numbers?" Because, the 11 o'clock number is like the big number right before the end of the show. And a lot of these are that. And it's exhausting sometimes. I thought, Jesus, what was I thinking? But it's also really rewarding and fun to find the arc of this show. And it has so many ups and downs and moments of pathos and hilarity that I don't think I'll ever get tired of doing it, actually. But there could be another whole set of tunes and stories next time out, because we left a lot out.
I got the job, and here's what's happened since I got the job.
I got this job, and then I got that job.
And I got that job too.
Other job. Yeah.
And you've had this wonderful, long friendship, almost like, brotherly, sisterly love in a way, with Ron Abel, who is an iconic figure as well, and such a great talent and such a, sweetheart of a guy as well. And he's always there for you and you're always there for him. Tell us about this. People might not realize it, when they see the shows, this wonderful admiration, respect, and deep friendship that you have for one another all these years.
How do you even explain chemistry? There's a chemistry that was there from the first day I met him. And first of all, his talent is infinite. He's the consummate musical arranger and accompanist. Let's just start with accompanist, which is maybe the simplest of things. You could be an accompanist and not be an arranger. You could be an arranger and not be an orchestrator. You could be an orchestrator and not be a composer. He's all of those things. But the way he accompanies is such a talent. And that's what he loves best. He doesn't even like to speak on stage. He says, "Oh, don't give me anything to say." His joy is being the breath behind you. And that's the truth, because you may be singing the same songs every night, but if you're thinking your way through it, telling the story again for the first time, it's never going to be exactly the same. You're never going to phrase it. At least I don't speak for myself. I'm never going to phrase it exactly the same. A good accompanist, and there are a handful, but only a handful out there, will be listening and feeling every breath you take. And they'll be waiting. I took a change. He's not set like, "Oh, she did it differently tonight." There are people who do that. Ron is just so good at that. But then he's like one of the best arrangers in the business. So he'll take a song you've done a million times. You've heard everybody sing blue skies, smiling at me. Everybody does that. Not his version. On my first CD, my first nightclub act was a tribute to Irving Berlin. And he did a version of Blue Skies for me that we still do that is ethereal. It's from the heavens. It's the most incredible thing I've ever heard. And then he writes music too, on top of everything else. He knows how to orchestrate what he writes, but he writes great tunes. And so a lot of times I sing his music as well. And then on top of everything else, just put a big ladle of hilarity. We have so much fun together. Always have. He has got a sick sense of humor. He's, just nasty. And I love it. I love it. But he's also one of the kindest, most compassionate people I've ever known. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Ron Abel. And I can't say that about very many people. Seriously, I maybe have met two in my life, Jimmy Durante and Gail Gordon. But he's such a good human and he loves what he does. And so when we're together, it's just the hang, as we say. Sometimes the work can be great, but the hang sucks. There's such drips to be with, to go out to dinner, especially if you're touring on the road or something. Not with Ron. I mean, we've been having fun together for 34 and a half years. It's nuts.
Somebody else you've been having fun with for, I think,
44 years.
Coming up on 44.
Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow?
Actually, tomorrow, yeah.
Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, Lucie
you.
Arnaz and Laurence,
Larry.
Luckinbill. Wow.
34
and
years.
Here we're going back to when you were, I think, singing Making Whoopee together.
Yes, I was pregnant with our first kid too.
Wow.
Yeah. We met right during the time I was they're playing our song on Broadway. We met at Joe Allen's one afternoon, and he was on Broadway at the same time doing a play called Chapter 2. Both Neil Simon shows, and so that baby I had, we named Simon.
That's right. Who is a brilliant artist, right?
Brilliant artist.
Yes.
Yep.
And your other son is moving from New England to the West Coast, right?
The middle son, Joe, Simon's younger brother, is a fantastic musician and a sound engineer. He mixed and mastered both of my last two CDs. And he just got his master's degree from Berklee School of Music in Boston, like the best school there is. So now he's coming out here to try his hand at not just teaching music and playing music, which is what he's been doing. And then he's done CDs for various people. He wants to go work in his dream world in a great, fabulous company, maybe a movie studio or whatever, and be the guy on the big board. He's capable now. He can actually do it. He's learned it all and he loved it. He loved doing it. He was on the dean's list every single semester. So That's a great credit to have. He worked his buns off doing it. And he and his two kids and Krista, the mother of his children, they're moving out here in a couple of weeks for maybe temporarily in our area, but he's going to stick around the West Coast and maybe work in Los Angeles. If not down here near us, he may be up in Marin County. There's plenty of studios and music and film happening up there too. But he's making a big switch. He's leaving Connecticut and coming this way. So we're excited about that because my other grandchild, JD, lives here too with my daughter, Kate. And so now those kids will all get to play together, which is all you can hope for in a family, to have the siblings and the cousins get together. It's going to be great. So 4 out of our 5 kids are now living in the Palm Springs area.
That's going to make you and Larry incredibly happy and
it's
feel
incredible
so
because we didn't ask any of them to come here. We don't want them here. No, I'm kidding. But they all
come for the weekend.
One by one started coming our way. Well, first during the pandemic, Kate and Jeff moved here with JD when he was just a baby. And then Simon decided he wanted to live closer to us. So he lives nearby. Ben came from Jersey City and moved closer to us. He said, I think I like it out here better. And I'm gonna find a place here. He's here. The only one that's not. Then Joe and Krista and the kids will be here. But our son, Nick Luckinbill, is in Las Vegas where he works with the big, Electric Daisy, Carnival, EDC, and all the electric music and puts on 150 dance parties every year all around the globe. So he's kind of busy. I don't think he's ready to come here yet, but he's only 4 hours away. It's better than 3,000 miles.
Who's going to be doing all the cooking?
Everybody. We
That's
all
awesome.
cook. I mean, we're not all living in the same house, so I don't have to cook for all these people all the time. But my son, they all cook. My Simon is a wonderful chef. He can cook anything, and he's very healthy. He's pretty much just vegan, but he can cook for other people too. And Joe loves to cook. Joe cooks great meals. Ben's a terrific cook, and he's a bartender by trade, so we can give some good parties. I'm just saying.
That sounds nice. Next time we're going to do the show with the Luckinbill household
Yes.
there with that view that you have. There's that view.
It's funny. The other day we have waited 11 years to do anything to the outside of the house. When we moved in, we didn't really do much except in the inside. And so just recently we had the outside painted. We had to get the house painted. It's a big deal. It's a huge, big deal. And we've got, trees and bushes that have to be moved and blah, blah, blah. But we had got great company to do it. And we were in our bedroom while they were starting the first morning. And then we came out and we went, every single window had been plasticked over. It was like living in a foggy fishbowl for 3 days. No view, no door. We can't see anything. Every once in a while we'd see a little shadow go by. Like, I hope that's one of our painters. We don't know. Could be anybody. We're not sure. But now the view is back tonight. It's very nice.
That is so nice. You are sort of in paradise there, right? And you were always familiar with that area too, because your parents had a place out there.
Yeah. They built a house at Thunderbird, like one of the first few houses that was built on. That was the first golf course. And my dad had a house designed by Paul Revere Williams, who was the first Black architect to be inducted into the Architects, Association. Famous for not only being the first Black architect, but being able to draw upside down so that he could sit across from the people and still show them what he was going to do, because he was Black and they wouldn't want to sit next to him. Imagine.
Yeah.
He had designed my folks, the ranch that they bought in Chatsworth. My folks found out that Paul had designed that house, so they hired him to design the Palm Springs house. And they built just a terrific mid-century modern, really like classic Palm Springs house up on a little raised hill so that you had a terrific view of the golf course and whatnot. It's still there. Doesn't look the same anymore. My stepfather's widow still lives there, and she changed it quite a bit. So it's kind of unrecognizable inside now, but so goes the world.
So goes the world, and the memories are still intact for sure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's so many too. When you talk about some of the incredible things that you've been a part of, we were just digging up in the intro there. Some of them, I tell you, huh?
Yeah, Witches of Eastwick. That was a year and a half of my life living in London and working for the Cameron McIntosh organization, and the wonderful Maria Friedman there in the middle with the white hair. She just won the Tony for Merrily We Roll Along for directing.
That's right.
Which is pretty cool for her. And the one the lady on the right is Joanna Riding, spectacular voice, both of them, real singers, like knock you off the stage. And Ian McShane, a scary person I never want to work with again, but also an interesting actor. How was that for getting out of the hole I dug?
I was going to say that's very beautifully and subtly put. I love that.
He's a little strange. That's all I can say.
Curious individual. Yeah.
It makes for interesting time in life to figure out how to deal with various people. And maybe he's better now. I think then he was a little off his kilter, but
a little yeah.
He was playing the devil. It could be.
So maybe it's sort of
maybe it was just him getting in character.
I was going to say, or didn't know how to shut it off, maybe, or
Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. Somebody else that you'll drink to that.
I'll drink to you. Thank you.
Somebody else that you've also performed with numerous occasions, you've had a wonderful friendship with, of course, is Tommy Tune.
Tommy Tune. I knew you were going to say that. Yes, indeed. Known him way longer than I've known Larry or Ron Abel or anybody. I met Tommy when 1970. Well, it wasn't even. We did Seesaw in 1974, but I met him in like 72 when I was on the Dean Martin show and he was choreographing the Dean Martin show. Then I ended up in Seesaw, on the national tour of Seesaw. And then we did a Walt Disney World special together and did the Tap Your Troubles Away number from Mac and Mabel in front of the the Cinderella castle in clogs with wooden soldiers. And then we did Mac and Mabel, a redo, sort of like a hopeful reincarnation of that show. Down in Florida, we opened the Miami Beach Theater Performing Arts, and Tommy played the Lisa Kirk role and the friend and the writer. They combined it into one so that he could do the Tap Your Troubles Away number, which is like written for him, you know? And the show still didn't work. It still didn't really work. Jerry hoped that, you know, we could tweak this, tweak that, and somehow get people to understand that show. But the writer, Michael Stewart, at the time was not interested, or his estate wasn't interested in changing one single word. And it's a little hard to improve a show if you're not allowed to even change a word here or there. We did the best we could, but you know what? It was at a time when that kind of dark fun wasn't popular. People didn't know what to do with that. It was, you know, crack cocaine meets, you know, Keystone Cops. Like, what happened? You know, so I don't think people knew where to put it in their heads. And I think today people appreciate that show a lot more. And it's been done several times, especially in concert versions, because the music, oh my God, Jerry Herman's music in that show is just spectacular. And I do one of the big numbers from it in my show, I Got the Job show, the Wherever He Ain't, which is a killer song.
How did you, you know, when you're deciding what songs to put in the show, I mean, it's almost like when somebody puts an album or a CD together, you start with, you know, 35 songs, and then you got to whittle it down, like you say, to fit into the time. How did you put it all together?
Well, we did it the same way we do all the shows that Ron and I try to structure, because, you know, you got a certain amount of time, and you know you're going to have to introduce a few of them. So there's maybe 10 minutes of talk thrown in there. Let's say the show is only going to be 60 minutes or 70 minutes long. You know, it can only be this long. And you start with the songs you love the best. It's, oh, that'll work, that'll work, that'll work. And then you go, well, wait, now we have too many of those and not enough of these. And so you have to, you know, shape it. It has to have a shape. And the story has to flow, especially in this show. In some shows, you can just intro a song in some fashion and the songs are balanced because they make a nice evening of music. In this show, it was chronology. I had to get the chronology a certain way. I didn't jump around, really. Only in a couple of places where I said, oh, before I did this and before we did this, you know. But it's pretty much chronological. And it built itself, I have to say. First, Ron wasn't even sure when I said maybe we'd do a show, you know, based on the music I've done from musical theater all my life. And he kind of went, he didn't get excited about it. And my feelings were hurt, you know. And then he said, well, make a list of like he wasn't sure I'd worked enough or something, you know.
Send me your resume.
Yeah. And I made a list of well, he knows me from concerts, right? Singing the Great American Songbook and everything else. He wasn't in my life when I was just doing theater and stuff. I was already doing movies and films and television and yada, yada before I went into this concert business because I wanted to get back in front of a live audience. So when I actually gave him, you know, the list of all the shows I had done, he was like, whoa, you know what song is from that? I said, yes, I know. That's a good song. And then sometimes we chose to do a song from a show that I was in, but I didn't sing. Like I always wanted to sing this song, but it wasn't my song. So we switched it up in that manner. And as soon as he got the sense that he had a lot of material to work with, it was easy. Then he went, oh, this is going to be great. You know, plus he didn't have to do quite as many arrangements because some of these are the original charts. I'm still singing everything in the same key and everything. Some keys I had to actually raise. Just saying. Because I'm stronger now, I guess. I don't know. But he was very, very helpful in taking a song that we didn't want to do the exact same way. Some we do exactly like they were done in the show because that's the way they really need to be done. Like I Still Believe in Love or something from They're Playing a Song. Nice Work If You Can Get It is a song from, My One and Only that I have the story of what happened to me in the show when I went up one night and I couldn't remember what the hell I was supposed to say. And it's every actor's nightmare. So there's a funny story that goes with that. But then we launch into doing the song that took place during that scene. But we don't do it like we did it in My One and Only. Ron does a an incredible sort of noir version of this. That's not actually accurate, but it's a darker, more fun jazz club version, let's say, than she did it in the show.
You really do, you cover the gamut too, which I think is something that people are going to really, if they haven't experienced it yet, when they grab those tickets, and we'll tell them, of course, throughout the show how they can get the tickets as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're celebrating life on stage, and you're celebrating, the time with Pippin and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Like you said, they're playing our song. And even from your first role at 14 as the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland too, right?
Well, that was my first role. It's nothing. There's nothing I can do from that show. You see, the Cheshire Cat had no lines. Meow. The Cheshire Cat just smiled. That was the audition. Who could smile the biggest? So I didn't. That's not a part that I would recreate. But it
you
is.
Go to Pippin, right? Yeah. Huh? You go into then Pippin too.
And Pippin. Oh, I'm so glad
you were so extraordinary in Pippin. And I mean, just if anybody didn't get a chance to see you dangling from the ceiling, we were there, if you may remember.
I do.
My mother was visiting up from Florida and treated her, and you met my mom, and she loved it. And just to see, she said, wait a minute, I followed Lucie Arnaz gym all my life, and am I actually seeing Lucie hanging, almost upside down from a ceiling? I said, you are.
Yeah, that was quite something, I have to say. I'm surprised.
The physicality of it, the preparation must have been.
Yeah. Well, I went in, we had just moved to Palm Springs. I was in terrible shape. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything. I was as flabby and, muscleless as I could possibly have been at the time. And that's when the call comes, do you want to come into this show? And I was like, whoa, I don't think I've seen the show. I saw what she did. No, I don't think so. And he said, well, why didn't you come down and play with us? You're going to be in town? I said, yes, I'm in Jersey. I'm here till Tuesday. Come down Monday and let's play. And they put me through some paces, like, am I flexible? Am I afraid of heights? Can you do this? Can you do that? And they went, she can be taught. And I thought, okay. But you don't get any extra time. You don't get a month before the rehearsals for the national tour start. You go in the first day like everybody else. And you have to learn all the choreography and all the songs and all the words and everything, and your dance trapeze routine. And I only got about 20 minutes of rehearsal every day. Then we had to go to the other rehearsals, and you can't take it home with you. You can't go back to the hotel room and practice your trapeze. You just got to wait till the next day when you can work with the acrobatic guy you're up there with. And you just got to learn to trust. They got me stronger every day, certain little exercises, sit-ups and little things on my arms and stuff. I had the best arms on the planet when I was doing that show. And they kept saying, just trust the process. Do what we tell you to do. Trust the process. Yes, thank you. Can I have those back? And they said, you're going to be fine if you just put one foot in front of the other, no pun intended. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't think, oh God, what if I fall? No, think, I sit here, then I grab the rope, then I put the other hand, then I put my leg up, then I put my other leg up. Good metaphor for life in a weird way, one step at a time. And it was thrilling, absolutely thrilling. Everybody always mentions the hanging upside down singing part, as if that's the hardest part. By the time I was hanging upside down, all the hard part was over. All that falling backwards and hanging by one arm and doing, oh my God, the routine is really pretty heart-stopping. It's a show-stopping number, and I was thrilled to get to do that every night for 7 months, 8 shows a week.
And you've done a lot of things, and your mother, of course, Lucille Ball, the physicality has always been there. Would you rate that time with Pippin as one of the most physically demanding performances you've done in your career? Yeah. Yes.
On that level. Absolutely. That, and then maybe my one and only in a close second because of the amount of tap dancing required in that show. And I could tap a little, but I wasn't a Tommy Tune tapper, and I had to really go into training and learn an awful lot of tap. And I loved it. My knees gave out just before I opened. I was doing the commercial and my knees finally went, no, we're not coming. We're staying here.
That's it.
And I went, oh no. But then I did some therapy and some exercises and some stuff. They just weren't prepared. I always go into these things unprepared. Who knows you're going to have to do that when you get the call. And I never was like a tap dancer by trade. I just tapped a little. Certainly wasn't not an acrobatic by trade. But yeah, that was demanding. That was very demanding. And Pippin certainly on another level entirely.
Yeah. And of course, I don't know if you had a chance to see it yet, but A Beautiful Noise, the wonderful Broadway.
I have not. I did not. I did not have a chance to see it. No.
Somebody that I know personally, actually, as a friend, and he's the star of the show, Nick Fradiani, and he's the one that won American Idol. He's from Connecticut, actually, and he plays Neil, and he is absolutely incredible. I think the show is going to be wrapping up soon, but of course you spent some time in The Jazz Singer with Neil Diamond. What was that experience like?
Phenomenal. I mean, the best guy in, one of the best in the musical world, and arguably, the greatest actor that ever lived, Laurence Olivier, on the other side.
Oh yeah.
And a pretty good part. It wasn't a very good part when I read the script. It was kind of weak and it wasn't well written, really. But my husband, Larry, got a hold of it, and he just started tweaking. Maybe could you do this? Ask him if you could do this. Ask him if you could say this. And he really ended up rewriting my part. He should get credit at the film. But it turned out pretty good for me. And Neil was a joy to work with. He really was. He's a lovely guy. And I wish I was closer to him these days. I haven't seen him in a long time, really long time. And I know he's suffering with some Parkinson's and some stuff now. So I know it's a big deal. And but it was great to see him at the opening, or he came to see one of the shows of the Neil Diamond musical on Broadway.
Yeah.
Beautiful Noise. Yeah. So, he looks good, and I'm in communication with his son, Jesse, from time to time. And it was great for me to do that. I left there playing our song in order to do that film. And I intended to come back after I finished shooting it and we did all the, post-production. But I got pregnant with Simon, and so I couldn't go back into there playing our song. And then I just, okay, too late now. Now I'm a mom. I'll go do that for a bit.
You did a reprise not that long ago, which was sold out, I think, within probably, it was
one night on the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, of this incredible Neil Simon, magnificent work of art. Robert Klein, of course, was with you too, and the phenomenal music of Marvin Hamlish, Carol Bear-Sager, I mean, just everybody involved. What was it like being a part of something as special as this?
The revival, I mean, the celebration.
Even both. Yeah, the revival, I know.
Well, both were incredible. I mean, it was, to me, I always said I felt a little bit like Cinderella at the ball the entire time that I was doing a song, because it was my first Broadway show ever. I had no idea what to expect. And I started at the top. I started with Neil Simon, with Marvin Hamlish, with Robert Moore directing it, with Manny Eisenberg producing it. It was incredible. It was an incredible opportunity. And I was so very grateful. I've always been grateful that for some bizarre reason, they picked me. I mean, they saw over 200 girls, and I was the first one they auditioned. I did an okay audition. I don't like auditioning. I kind of hated what I did. I was like, oh, I forgot the lyrics to the song I sang, and I wrote those lyrics. And I think, I mean, I thought, okay, you just completely lost this. And it was a part I knew I could play like tomorrow. It was me. It was totally a part like I am that girl. So it was killing me. I was doing Annie Get Your Gun Out at Jones Beach the whole summer. And I went in for that one audition, and then I had to wait like the rest of the whole summer before I heard. And it was, nerve-wracking. And but when I got that part, I thought, oh my God, this is meant to be. Because when I read it, I just thought, no, I see myself. This is my part. This has got to be my part. Which was kind of just, what an ego to think you've never been on Broadway. There's a brand new two character musical by Neil Simon and Marvin Hamlish, and you're going to get cast? Hardly. But I went, no, yeah, I have to. It's who's better for this than me? I can't do every part that comes along, but this one's me. And it was great that they thought so too.
Now, do you ever feel that a lot? Do you ever feel there's a part that you're offered or that comes your way where you're like, I really do want to be a part of this because it is me? Does that happen often?
Yeah, from time to time. I mean, I try not to get involved in shows just for the job. Like, oh, I need my, equity insurance or something. The work is just, you have a lot of work to do. You really want to get yourself involved in something that you're passionate about. And if I didn't think I was right for it, I probably wouldn't even apply. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I was asked to go in to read for a lovely group of producers, and it was a story about a Jewish shtetl, and the people in the picture, I think was the name of it, or I may be getting the title a little bit wrong. And I went in there and I read for these lovely, lovely, lovely book writer, composer, librettist. I did a terrific audition. I wasn't really nervous. And they were like smiling like this. And I said, can I just say that I don't think I'm right for this? I don't know why you're hiring me. I'm not Jewish. I've played Jewish girls all my life. Sonia Walsh was Jewish. Gittel Mosca was Jewish. It's not about that. I can play Jewish, but I don't think I'm right for this. I think there's a better actress out there who would do more justice to it, just facially and physically. I don't know. And I said, have you thought about Donna Murphy? And they went and got Donna Murphy. So I used to say to her every time I see her, I go, don't forget, you owe me. I got you that. Just so you know, I got you that job. But sometimes that happens. I just went, it's not really me. It's not, I could do it, but not, should be her. And she did a great job. She did a terrific job.
Which is cool. Do you remember, of course, there was a time when there was the Lucie Arnaz Show.
The Lucie Arnaz Show, cleverly titled.
Yeah.
They called it the Lucie Arnaz Show, the all-knowing, just all omnipresent CBS, because it was originally a show from England, London, and it was called Agony, which I thought was perfect because it's a story about a self-help radio show psychologist. You call in with your troubles and she helps you. It was called Agony. It's perfect. They filmed the pilot called Agony. And then when they put it on the air, they called it the Lucie Arnaz Show. And they said, because we changed it because we don't think anybody will be able to find the title in the TV guide. You mean like ER or MASH? But you see, Suits think like that. Those folks, they think like that. So they changed it cleverly to the Lucie Arnaz Show. It didn't help. It still only lasted like 6 seasons or something.
Did you enjoy doing it?
Not 6 seasons, excuse me.
I was going to say, that's
6 episodes. I would be very happy with
I was going to say, I don't remember the 6 seasons. Got to get those DVDs.
They were very quiet seasons. Only in
If you look at, you've graced all of it, television, film, stage, and you've done it all beautifully. What comes to your heart first? Is it theater? Is that what is in your heart first? Or do you just love it all?
I've been asked this question a lot, and I almost always say theater because live audience. But I think the answer is live audience, and then see where that takes you. Because it's really about the live thing that I like.
Which your parents' shows were known for and created.
It just feels of the moment. It's more of a tightrope walk. It's more dangerous, and I gravitate towards it. So theater is that, and TV can be that. Concerts are that. Film is really great because it's forever. And whatever you do, there's a copy of it somewhere. Somebody can run it again and watch it. And you can't stick your nose up on that. That's neat. But the process of it is boring. It's tedious for me. I kind of love the hang with the makeup and the hair people, and you got to get there very, very early in the morning, and you stay till very, very late at night. Long, 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 long hours. all in one day. And then you do these little scenes that you don't get to rehearse much usually. So you're kind of just going on this by the seat of your pants and whatever training you have, theater training or film training. But no matter what you do, you're always at the mercy of some editor or director's choice later. You could end up on the cutting room floor. So, or you could have planned to do some great reaction that really explained your whole character, but they don't cut to you during that. They cut to somebody else. So it's not in your hands anymore. And I guess I'm a bit of a control freak because I want to know what I just did with my character. I would like to be in charge of how she comes out. You know what I mean? Having said that, I too am a producer and director, and I have been in the editing room making documentaries or films or whatever. And yeah, I trust that there are good directors out there who will make good choices. And most of the time they do, but I don't know. I prefer live. That's what I like, whatever that is.
I understand, working in television and radio and all myself, there is something about, like you say, there's that tightrope. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, and you've experienced it too, where you're thrown out there and you've got to make sense of it and make it all thread together and blend as if it was supposed to happen. Meanwhile, behind you, there's smoke and flames and yelling and all kinds of stuff going on. But while you're out there doing your thing, I find that it's incredibly adrenaline inducing. I feel like I'm at my best oftentimes when it is live and when anything can happen, because all cylinders are firing and it's like a sport and you're challenging yourself.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful thing when things are live, like you said.
Yeah, it's a game with the audience. It's like a tennis match, and you never really know how good your players will be or how good you'll be at serving. You try to serve properly, get it over the net, and hopefully they return it. And that's sort of what acting is with a live audience. If you do your part well, they get it, and you get a reaction that you wanted, whether laugh or silence. That's whatever you're going for. And it's a game all night long. You're going point, miss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We actually had a couple of quick questions here from our Jim Master Show lovely viewers. Some really good ones too.
Good.
Rick Carl is here. Rick, there's several people that want to say hello. Matter of fact, 2 nights ago, we had Keith Thibodeau here, and he wanted to send you a hello and his love. He's heading to, I think, Indiana, because there is a big Andy Griffith weekend festival celebration.
Right.
So I said Lucie's going to be on in 2 nights. And then last night we had Stanley Livingston, Tina Cole, John Provost, and Larry Matthews, and they were all talking about what it was like doing those iconic shows on the Desi Lou Studios lot and the set, and what it was like, knowing everybody, and really, really spectacular stories they shared. But they all send their love, and Keith wanted to say hi as well and send his love as he's heading up to the Andy Griffith Festival.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hi, Lou. Never had the chance to ask you, but was curious, how do you keep your singing voice so clear and vibrant, especially for upcoming shows? What exercises or prep do you do to keep it ready? Thanks, Rick.
Oh, Rick, you could have just called me and asked me that.
But now everybody will know.
Now everybody can. Well, it's all, it's about placing where you place your voice and trying not to abuse it. Don't scream too much, or if you must scream, there's a way to do that if you're screaming for a job, and you try to get enough rest. When I have to do a show, I don't go out and party all night long. I don't have a lot of drinks. You pamper your throat a little bit, but I don't do tons and tons and tons of vocalization per se. I have learned to work more on, where you're placing your voice and lifting the palate, and sing, breathe properly, and sing easy in the first couple of songs while you're rehearsing. And the singing itself usually warms your throat up if you sing right and you remember to breathe. And I just try to, I'm not a diva, you know, I mean, I don't think about it that much. I used to think about it too much. And I think it became it was worse. I had a wonderful coach for years who taught me some very valuable things, and another wonderful lady in New York who added a couple others. But those few things have been the things I just have to keep reminding myself over and over and over again. They're very basic things like the placement and, you know, and edge and arc and follow through like a tennis match, you know, instead of hitting a note and it stops, it goes, it keeps going. And it's always a test when I do a show that's hard, like the one I'm going to be doing at 54 Below. Like I said, it has a lot of 11 o'clock numbers. So you got to pace yourself and you can't blow it all out. You can't act like an idiot and scream. You have to be careful, you know, sing properly. I have seemed to have gotten a little bit better at it as I got older. That doesn't always happen. So I'm grateful that it's like I'm actually strengthening now. And since you're asking, Rick, I'm going to take this opportunity to show that you mentioned the Lucie Arnaz Awards, Jim, remember? Those kids are in New York right now at the Jimmys, the Jimmy Nederlander Awards, that have these, you know, thousands of people vie for this every year, and about 143 kids come to New York there. And that little caricature of me in the back is a Rick Carl. Rick drew that.
Really? Wow.
Yes. He did a wonderful caricature of me that we use for the Lucie Arnaz Awards, cleverly called the Luciers. But thank you, Rick. I want everybody to know you did that.
Beautiful. Tell us about, people might not know about it. I wanted to make mention of it because I think it's something very, very special. How did the Lucie Arnaz Awards develop, and what does it celebrate? Tell us about that.
It celebrates high school musical departments is what it celebrates. And the reason that they were created, the awards in general, the Jimmys, and then there are lots of little Lucie Arnaz Award type awards around the country. There's a Tommy Tune Award in Texas. There's a Jerry Herman Award, the Jerry's in Los Angeles. There's like 50 around the country. Cheetah of Rivera had one, and all this. But the idea of the awards is because we learned that many high schools were cutting their arts departments, including theater, orchestras, all of that. First thing to go when you're strapped for cash are the arts, which is crazy because the arts are probably the most valuable thing that a kid can have, more so than even sports. Sports never got cut. Oh, no. They would always raise money and make more money for sports. So somebody came up with a clever idea that, well, if you make theater a competition, maybe the parents and the people who support these things at school won't cut funding to it. And it worked. So by having these competitions, they take the best kids in the musical theater departments of that season, of that year, and they pick two, a guy and a girl, and they send them to the local awards in their area. In my case, this is the whole inland empire, Coachella Valley, and, you know, this Riverside and all of this. They send maybe 12, 13 schools send their two best people. And then we have the Lucie Arnaz Awards where they get to do their music. And we choose the best girl and the best guy, and we send them to New York to the Jimmys. And oddly enough, the last few years, both of our people have made it up into the last, out of like 140 some kids. We've had kids in the top. They're going to be in the finale again in the character roles, and both the girl and the guy made it into the finals. So good luck, you guys.
That's so nice. You know, it's such a beautiful thing to be a part of, and inspiring and mentoring, you know, others and giving them.
And the kids that get to go from all the schools, all the winners, all the Lucie Arnaz and the Tommy's Awards and everything. These people, these kids go to New York for a whole week.
Wow.
It's not just the award show,
right?
But they get to have master classes with the very best people in the Broadway community. Choreographers, directors, costumers, all kinds of people come in, actresses and actors, singing teachers, and they give classes to these kids, which they could never in a million years have gotten any other way. And whoever wins gets like $10,000 scholarship. So
that's incredible.
It's a very cool thing that the Nederlander organization put together, and we're very proud to be a part of it. And David Green was the name of the man here in the Coachella Valley area who runs MTU, which is Musical Theater University for kids from all over different high schools here, after school program. Fantastic guy. And he said, we want to have our own Coachella Valley, awards show. And would you lend your name to this? And I was like, what? Really? Oh my God. And I really had to think about it. And then I went, why not? Thank you. I'm honored. So that's how it happened. Thank you, David Green.
That's so wonderful. Stellar Road Records says, hi, Jim. Please tell Lucie Joni says hello. Sending all my love. Thank you for everything, Lucie XOXOXO from Stellar Road Records.
Thank you.
Sending her love to you as well.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I know her.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I just appreciate that comments. It's really, really nice that you guys are commenting and you're sending all these wonderful things in here. And this is beautiful what you guys are sending. I wanted to make mention too that Larry, of course, your wonderful husband, Laurence Luckinbill, extraordinary actor and playwright and author, published author as well. He has his autobiography, which has been just soaring up the charts. Yeah, tell us about this. We had him on again. You can see the episode when he was a guest on the show, and it really was very, very special. And he shared so many wonderful stories. But he's penned a beautiful autobiography. Tell us about that. And congratulations on everything that's happening.
Yeah, I'm so proud of him. It took him 10 years to finish writing it, to know when to say, stop, stop. And he stopped. And then, so I said, you need to stop writing at some point so that you can actually publish this. There it is. Effective Memories, How Chance and the Theater Saved My Life. And it's true. It did. And it's his story, which is a hell of a read, as I said in one of my comments, about a kid growing up in the Ozarks with an alcoholic, dysfunctional family, and a lot of bigotry and racism, and how on earth he escaped that with bumping into every wall he could of things he wasn't capable of doing until it pointed him in the right direction and he found the theater, and boom, he became this. We used to call him an actor's actor. Before I really knew him well, the actors would say, oh, Larry Luckinbill, he's like an actor's actor. He's just one of those actors who you can hire him to do pretty much anything and he would know how to do it. He can play anything, anybody, anywhere.
And he has.
And he has. He's done, hundreds of plays and movies. And there he is, Sybok 5. This is the 35th anniversary of Star Trek 5. We just found out. Sybok 5, I just said. That's funny. It's Star Trek 5. He's Sybok, who is, Nimoy's brother, Spock's brother. Imagine having two kids and naming them Spock and Sybok. And it's quite an interesting film, actually. And he's been talking, all of a sudden, all the Treksters are coming out of the woodwork because he wrote this book. And he's got a lot of information in the book about Star Trek, a lot of information in the book about the boys in the band, which was another huge, crazy, daring thing for him to be in the original play and the movie, the London production, Boys in the Band, only one of two straight people in the play taking their life in their hands in the 60s to do this almost first ever play about, gay life. And it's about him and trying to find himself. And he's very, I gotta say, almost unbelievably honest about what happened to him in his life. And I allowed him to be as honest as he needed to be about the things we've gone through in our marriage, because it's valuable to know how to get through some of this stuff that happens in a 44-year-old marriage. It's about a lot of things, about being a parent. And it's just, as I said, I can't say it's about this, it's about that. It's a hell of a read. It's a saga. And the people who were commenting about it on Amazon and Facebook are saying things like, I've never read an autobiography like this. They're never this good. They don't keep me, glued to the pages. And his really does. He's a wonderful writer. He makes things come alive on the page without the quote unquote beautiful writing, if you know what I'm saying, where everything is a 5 adjective description. We wouldn't have that. I was like, no, we're not doing anything. He didn't. He just writes. he just describes a cross between a great screenplay writer and a Hemingway guy who just tells it. Just say it. Say what it was. And he found himself writing this book, and it's doing very well. It's doing very well. So we're also gonna do a drama bookshop signing and talk while we're in New York for my show. On the 22nd, July 22nd. It's a Monday night, I believe, isn't it? Is the 22nd a Monday?
Yes, right, because your birthday is the Wednesday, the 17th.
Right. It's got
so Thursday, 18th.
22nd is a Monday, yes. So
Yes.
the 22nd, Drama Book Shop on 39th Street in Manhattan. They're going to do a Larry Luckinbill night of this book, and he'll talk, be interviewed by somebody, and then sell books and sign books and stuff like that. So that's exciting because that's where the book belongs. That's the book for that store, and it's his dream to have an autobiography at the Drama Book Shop, and there it is.
You know, you've been which I think is so beautiful about your relationship with one another, and people have commented this, publicly, and we were talking about it when he was on the show, a couple of weeks back when the book was just coming out. You are such cheerleaders for one another. You are so when that book came out, even before, you were so proud and happy for him and him telling his story and sharing it. It's just, it exudes out and we feel it. I think it's such a beautiful thing, this love affair that you guys really have for one another, and admiration for each other's talents and what you bring to the table. Individually, but collectively, the power of the two of you together is unparalleled in many ways. And you can see how you are cheerleaders for one another in such a beautiful, beautiful way, Lucie.
Thank you. That's nice that you say that. It's true. We are, and always have been from day one. He was my bestest kind of friend before we decided we would be partners. We became friends first. That was a secret to this. I just liked him and he liked me. I respected him as an actor, as a person, as a father. He was a fantastic father. And he's always been a seeker. You know what I mean? He's always looking to get better at what he is, at what he does. He has almost no ego that I can find. He's a seeker, and that's my favorite kind of person. People who are always looking to find, how can I do this better? How can I feel better? How can I make other people feel better? How can I help the world? How can we make this all be better? How to be a better parent, how to be a better citizen. And Larry is a cheerleader for the planet. I'm telling you, he's not just my cheerleader. He's a cheerleader for his 5 kids and his 3 grandchildren and me and his friends and the people who've been his mentors. He talks a lot about mentors in the book, and he means it. There are people who have mentored him and guided him. I think, that's what I call angels. They come down here and they go, oh, go over there. And you do, and something wonderful happens, And he's woke in the best sense of the word, not the dumb sense that people make fun of today, but awakened to a better way to get up every day and to be with people and to love. And he's 89 years old. He'll be 90 in November 21st. And there's not an old brain cell in his head. And, maybe he leans on a cane to get around a little bit, but that's it. Nothing else is old. And it's astounding to me. He's an inspiration in so many ways.
You've worked together on so many different projects as well. You even formed our Luck Entertainment film television production company and produced the documentary Lucie and Desi, a home movie, which was honored with the Emmy. And that's a beautiful thing too, to have that and to be able to produce things together as well, huh?
Yeah. Well, our company is great. We produce his shows, my concerts, and that documentary, which was hard to make. As I said, when we accepted the award, the Emmy, it was during the time they were doing the peace talks in the Middle East. And I said, to quote Itzhak Rabin, this was not an easy piece to make. It was true. But he was a great guide, because it's a documentary, so you're not going to write it. You don't write dialogue, but he crafted a storyline, an outline that guided our editors to tell it the way it needed to be told, to make the points we thought needed to be made, and we're very, very proud of that. I mean, the beautiful one was just made a couple of years ago by Imagine Entertainment, White Horse Pictures, and directed by Amy Poehler, called Lucie and Desi, and they took a fresh look at the same story and did a fantastic job. And I thought, yeah, go on. It's 25 years after mine. I'm going to open up all my archives and say, take what you want. Tell me what I missed. Show me something else. And they did a great job. So it's nice. It's nice. But I love working with Larry. We always love working together because he's smart. He's a smart guy.
Right. Absolutely. And we've talked about it, previously, and people can go in the archives on our YouTube channel, Jim Master TV, and see the conversations we've had. But there's always still this love affair with your parents and everything that they are responsible for in entertainment and in television, and in decades of laughter and love they've presented for all of us, which really is something that I know, as the year, what a cute, that's like, that's cute stuff, man. That is cute stuff. But just,
excuse me.
and just, I know how you feel, and we've talked about it, but it's, I was asking some of the other gang that was on, Keith and some of the others, how do you feel about being on these kinds of shows and being surrounded by these kinds of people? And in this case, they're your family, they're your mother and your father. To everybody else, they're Ricardos and everything else, but they're mother and father. And, as time goes on, and as we look at our lives and we look at our families and our ancestors and everything that puts these puzzle pieces together, and all the beautiful things, the crazy things, the things we try to figure out, the tender moments, the nutty moments. When you look at it, it's really beautiful in reflection, isn't it? Some of the experiences that you've had over the years, just you probably wouldn't trade for anything else.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, you said it all. I mean, it's all a part of one big piece, right? The good, the bad, the strange, the painful. It's called life. It's what I came down here to do. I believe, my spiritual belief is that I chose exactly the path that I'm on, to find out what I needed to find out, learn what I needed to learn, so my soul could get a little smarter for the next trip around. And I picked these people and I picked these situations. And so I don't really feel like I can ever complain about that shouldn't have happened, or, I wish this would. I was like, yeah, I'm right where I'm supposed to be for some reason. And being around those two incredible talents, especially if you want to go into this business, I mean, there's no better mentorship or fertilizer that could help you love the business anymore. They loved what they did, and I was lucky to live in a place where the two people who came home at night, had such joy for the work that they were doing during the day. A lot of parents don't feel that way. They come home and they complain about the crappy job they got to go to, and I feel sorry if people have to work, on an assembly line or in an office that's just boring, whatever. My folks had a great job, and I could tell they loved it, and they were damn good at it. They didn't get to stay together very long, so there was a downside to that part of it. But hey, 20 some years, and then they stayed in each other's lives forever. So it wasn't the worst thing that ever happened. You get over that after a while. I've been very fortunate. What can I say? I've had mentors and wonderful friends guide me. And I sometimes just look at even the places I've been fortunate to live in my life. Even from the first place I was born to the second house I lived into, my first apartment, to my first house, to my first New York apartment, to my first, I was thinking, oh my God, how did I find that? I'm so grateful for the places that have embraced me. And now here we are in Palm Springs, and the incredible friends, the loyal friends I've had throughout the years, people like Rick Carl and Tom Watson and Wanda Clark and, oh God, Laura Johansson. There's so many people through the years, that are still there. Michael Stern, the Desilu police, we call them, because they're all
Michael, yeah.
Desilu family in one frame, or one form or another. And they always call me up and say, "Is this legal? I saw a picture of this. Did you put that out?" So we gave them little Desilu police hats, whatever.
Michael was great. We had him on as a guest, and he's become a great friend. And matter of fact, last time I saw him, I was on, and I'm going to try to see. I know he's coming to the city for the show, in which we were communicating, testing each other. We're going to try to connect while he's in the city, and I'm right in the area here too. But he was working with Dr. Phil. He still works with Dr. Phil, but I was on a TV shoot in Burbank, and I let him know, and he said, "Oh yeah, let's get together." So we went to dinner and had fun, and then we went on a little mini tour of the Paramount lot, which was a lot of fun just to see. Yeah. And then, of course, there was, I forget the name of it. We have a picture together. There was across from where I Love Lucy was filmed and Desilu, there was a little restaurant on the corner. Mm-hmm. And I think it's called, I don't know if it was Lucy Way or something, but there was a little, and he said, "This is a famous place where everybody went to. Let's go have
Nicodel, yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the corner cafeteria.
Right on the corner there, right across.
Across the gates, yeah.
How is, a couple people did ask, how is your brother doing?
He's great. Thank you. He's not dead. What the hell was that all about?
Now, while she's here, everybody, she's got some splaining to do. If you ever see stuff on social media that just sounds a little too crazy to be true, here is Lucie Arnaz right now live on the Jim Masters Show to tell you Desi Arnaz Jr. is still with us and still enjoying his life.
Fine. Some idiots online, they do it with a lot of people. I found out it's not just Desi. It's a what do they call it? A clickbait thing. They put something out that makes you go, "What?" And then you click on it, and it's not that at all. It's some other story. They used Desi for that, and they said, passed away, poor thing, And then people were by the droves. "Oh, we're so sorry." And I said, "What? Stop. He's fine." But I mean, it went on for months, and then it recycled back again. And then this other people started calling me. "My brother is fine, thank you. He's 1.5 years younger than me, so I'm glad he's still fine. He lives in Vegas area, and he's doing just great. I'm going to go see him, actually, in the beginning of August. We're going to be up there for a Star Trek convention for Larry. I'm going to go see Desi. And so stop with the Desi's gone stuff. He's fine.
I like when you publish your responses to things that sort of trigger. You're just so straight shooter. You just tell it like it is. You just gotta
go, "Hang on." Hang on.
There they are, of course, at the museum in Jamestown, which is a fabulous place. They're our brother and sister.
Yeah, even more fabulous now. It's like twice the size.
Oh my God, huh?
Jamestown has become like the mega comedy center with literally the National Comedy Center is based there now, and there's never been a place that celebrated humor ever until they did it. So it's cool. Very cool.
Do you see any more albums coming out? This one was really fantastic. And
Thank you.
She went back to, delve into her Latin roots in such a beautiful musical way. And if you haven't secured this album, folks, go online and grab it. Amazon, everywhere. Probably Spotify, all the rest. Yeah. Get it. It's fantastic. And it's a whole different take on different things that you might not have even realized with Lucie Arnaz. That I know was a real
yeah. I love doing that CD. That was great. And then one I did after that was Feinstein's at the Nico, which was a story, a show all about the many, many different aspects of finding love, falling out of love, the finding, the falling, the fantasies, the foul ups, all the F words, as I say. And that's a good show too. And that's a great CD. And it was recorded live. And then I just recorded this show, the I Got the Job Songs from My Musical Past. I recorded that live at the Purple Room in Palm Springs. So that album is out now. And I will be bringing both of those to the 54 Below show in case people want to snag one at the end. I haven't been selling CDs for a couple of years after my shows because of COVID, and it's been very difficult to gather in groups. People don't like it when you wear your mask because they can't take pictures of you with your mask on, and they get mad if I don't want to take it off. And so I go, you know what? I can't go out there and do that because I have other shows coming up right after it. What if I get sick? Then what? You know? So it's been sad because I love that meeting and seeing. Yeah, wasn't I brave to put that stupid picture out there? I was like trying to get your attention. So I figured if they stopped and went, what the hell is she doing? They would read my tweet. But it's the middle of my show and I know exactly what it is.
I think one of them posts or something like, you got to act quick. These tickets are flying out the door.
No, that's what I did. That was my picture. This picture is me doing an impression of my conductor trying to tell me with mouthing the lyrics what I had forgotten when I was in the middle of that number. And that's Steve Sarkoff caught that. I thought, okay, I'm very brave for using that. That's a very nice picture.
But, I've asked this of others, whether they're acting, singing, whatever it may be. Do you, and I've witnessed it, and it seems like you do, when you are doing your thing, especially when it is on stage and in front of a live audience, are you transported to another place? Are you in some sort of a zone because you deeply immerse yourself in it? So what, even like a performance like we're looking at this picture here, what happens to you? Are you transported to another place? Are you just completely in a zone? What's happening to you as you're performing?
I hope I am transported to the story I'm telling. That's all I do is try to get into the reality of what am I saying? Why am I saying it? Who am I saying it to? They're all lyrics are little playlets, and you have to know why you're saying what you're saying. And so if I'm thinking about what I look like or how I sound or that guy in the front who just yawned, I'm in trouble. I have to stay in the lyric. That's what you study. That's what we do. And hopefully, yes, I am transported to the world of that song, the world of that story,
The guy in the front that just yawned.
Sometimes they do that. The guy's right in the front at a supper club when you're right at your feet, and you're looking down, and first they're sitting like this, and you go, oh, that's nice. And then you look down again, and he goes, and you think, pick up the tempo, Ron. They're falling asleep.
That is funny. So you're looking forward to it, and it's going to be your birthday, which is
Tuesday. Thank you for reminding me. Tuesday night, the 17th of July. Yes, it's my birthday, but they're also doing a live stream that night.
Yes, that's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Thank you. Yes, not Tuesday.
You know how I know?
July 17th, Wednesday. Because
you know how I got my tickets, and we're going to be there on your birthday.
Yay! Well, you'll be a part of the live stream, James.
Well, of course.
That'll be nice. Yeah. That should be a good night for a live stream because it should be sort of a buzz, the fun buzz in the crowd. Different people I know are going to come that night, but it's nice because people like to be there on opening night. People always like to be there on closing night. And then there's Wednesday, which is, the birthday.
Right. And I was looking at it, the 16th or the closing, and I said, it'd be kind of nice on the birthday, maybe we'll sing happy birthday to you or what have you. It'd be kind of nice.
I'm sorry, we don't have time for that. The show.
There's another one at 9:30. Thank you, Tom. That's right. Finish your drinks, folks. They got to sweep the floors and recalibrate.
I don't even know how we have time to sell CDs afterwards because there's people coming in right there using that door where they tell you can sell your CDs. It's a little crazy, but I'm going to try.
She's going to try her darndest.
Sign CDs. If I get sick, I don't have to work right after this, so hopefully I won't get COVID again.
We dug this out too. Speaking of singing, this was actually for the CBS 50th.
Oh,
you and Desi Jr. singing together.
And I singing Patria, which was a song about your homeland in Cuba. And Desi wrote that song with a couple of other people, and Billy Hinchy, rest in peace. And Yeah, that was a wonderful show to be involved in. And it was interesting because it happened right after 9/11. We had 9/11, and right in the middle of us putting that show together was 9/11. And we thought, well, there goes this. We're not going to do this 50th anniversary celebration. Nobody wants to see funny shit now, you know. And but it ended up being perfect timing, actually, because they didn't put it on the actual anniversary, October 15th, which I thought was a mistake. But then I realized, oh, yeah, a little too soon. So they put it on in November, closer to Thanksgiving. And it was absolutely perfect timing because people were really aching to have something make them laugh again. And that show and all the memories of the great moments in that show was the perfect antidote, you know.
Well, that's what, you know, during the pandemic and otherwise for decades, all this great material you've been a part of has carried us through so many different times in our lives, dark times and what have you. And it continues to be a blessing. I want to take just a moment to show everybody. Go to the website, Lucie Arnaz Official. There it is, luciearnaz.com. You can take a look at all the other treats and beautiful things that she has on that site and learn more. And if you want to get tickets to the show, and be showing this during the course, but let's continue to show it. You can go to 54below.com and then click on calendar. It shows you all the shows. You can go right to where Lucie is, and she's going to be there. It's July. Tuesday the 16th through Saturday
the 20th.
20th, right?
Yeah.
The birthday, of course, on the 17th. luciearnaz.com as well. For anybody that's going to be going to get the tickets, our audience of Lovedies, they're very proactive. So usually they get the books, the CDs, they get whatever we're talking about. What can they expect? What do you hope they're left with when they come to see you and Ron do your thing?
A huge big smile on your face and a little bit of forgetting all the stuff that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis these days when we read the paper or turn on the news. I mean, part of me wants to spend the 75 minutes I do my show just trying to talk to people about the things we're seeing on the news and talk to people and how important it is to get out there and educate themselves to what the choices are and why we should be involved this particular election. Short of that, when you go out and you can just shake your sillies out for a bit of time, it recharges your batteries, you know, and you're able to start again the next day because it takes energy to fight the good fight. And we really need that right now. So it's sort of missionary work sometimes what we do. We're like little chargers, you know, you plug in yourself to us, and when you leave, you have more energy.
Do you have more energy, or you're wiped out?
Yes. No, I do too. I'm tired, but with more energy. I'm exhausted sometimes, but with incredible adrenaline, you know. That's a perfect picture right there, because that's exactly how I feel at the end of some numbers. At the end of the show, that's how I feel. Like, damn, that was fun.
I was going to say, and 54 Below is a great venue, isn't it? It's intimate, it's warm, it's
People who run it are first class, and they give you a great show. You know, they do beautiful food, great lights, terrific sound, and the bartenders aren't noisy during your ballads.
Right.
Because, you know, sometimes you get to these places and bartenders do their, you know, shakers right in the middle of a ballad. I said, can you just do the shakers during my Latin numbers? Because it would be helpful if you don't have a band. But 54 Below is a favorite place. And I'm looking forward to coming back there, hopefully next year at some point with a brand new show, as they used to say, you know.
Stay tuned, folks. I just wanted to make mention real quick. I know that I think you posted about it. The passing of Donald Sutherland, one of our great iconic actors. Did you ever get a chance to do anything with Donald over the years?
No, Larry has worked with him in film. I never have. I've never even met the guy. I just was a huge admirer, and I feel the same way about Kiefer Sutherland. I think he's a wonderful actor, and Donald, as he transforms, he was consummate, you know, right up there with the greats. Really a great actor, and you know, you don't. kind of taken for granted a little bit. I don't, because he wasn't like one of those superstar people. But there are lots of those kinds of actors who were just solid, magnificent performers, really knew the craft and could take on parts and just make them so believable and so interesting. I just loved watching him work. And I'm sorry he's gone. I feel like doing a Donald Sutherland film festival in my house now and go look up all of his stuff and just watch it. But we all have to go home at some point.
Yeah, absolutely right, my friend. Absolutely. You are always a delight and so generous with your time and a real blessing. And everybody's been commenting and just saying that we love you and happy anniversary and pre-happy birthday and all these wonderful things. Are going to be doing anything special for that anniversary? You just had a combined Mother's Day, Father's Day dinner on Monday with the family, right? Which was kind of nice.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? I was away for Mother's Day and there wasn't anybody really who was going to be around. So we did it we decided to do something on Monday and just combine stuff. And no, we're actually not, we talked about it. And I said, what do you want to do? What do you want to go out someplace? In the old days, you'd have to find some romantic, expensive restaurant to take each other to. And it's set up like an expectation that I thought was unrealistic after so many years. We have more fun just hanging out together. I'm going to make a couple of filet mignons at home and we're going to stream the last season of Billions. That's what I'm doing. On my anniversary, that's what I'm doing. And then actually the following day, we're going to a friend's house who is his birthday. And I said, okay, well, that's cool because we're not really doing anything. You're not doing anything. On Sunday, I'm going to make spaghetti bolognese and a big salad. And I've just our closest 6 friends here in Palm Springs. And we're going to do like a combo birthday, anniversary, raise a glass. Who cares? So that's keeping it casual and doable and not such a big deal. We celebrate each other every day. So it doesn't matter. Every day is a gift.
Every day is a gift. It sure is.
You never know what's going to happen. I always make sure I kiss them before we go out the door,
Yeah. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Yeah. It's a great love affair that, like I said, that the two of you have. And I wish you nothing but continued.
Thank you, Jim.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in just a couple of weeks and we'll be cheering you on as always and rooting you on.
Yes. Thanks for the plugs. I'm sure everybody always listens to this show and we always get tons of people who call and say, oh, I saw you on the Jim Masters show. And so it's really great to be back. And thank you for that.
The pleasure is all mine. And thanks to everybody who has been commenting as well. Lots of incredible. Joe, she said, great show. Lucie Arnaz, I enjoyed it. And earlier she wanted to thank you for the many years of fabulous entertainment and love and music. You and your brother and your parents have given all of us. She wanted to get that in there. So I now know that she's going to sleep well tonight, that it was said.
I also should mention just if people want to go to luciearnaz.com. You were so sweet to put that wonderful little terrific thing you made with that. I love that. I'm stealing it. And there is a calendar there, which will not only tell you about 54 Below, but what's coming. Because I'm going to Michigan. I'm going to Bay Harbor, Michigan in October. I'm going to be at the Catalina Jazz Club in October, the 22nd and 23rd. I'm going to be at the Purple Room on the 24th, 5th, and 6th. I guess it is that weekend following Catalina Jazz with a different show, not this show, because I've done this show there with the show I did that's that CD about love, doing that at the Purple Room. And then working on a new show that'll be out, that I'll be doing it after the first of the year. So you can go and catch me in other places if you're not coming to New York.
Lucie is omnipresent. And you are a present and a real delight, my friend. Always, it feels like we just pick up where we left off, and it feels like we're in the same, living room with that $1 million view out that window there. And like I said, everybody who stops by the Jim Masters Show, we always keep the porch light on for you. You're always so beautifully generous with your time, my friend, and give my best to Mr. Luckinbill and to the family. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. And as I always say, I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, Lucie.
I absolutely did. Thanks again for inviting me.
You are very welcome. Take care and be
Merry summer.
well.
All right. See you in New York.
Safe travels, okay? And happy anniversary.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, Lucie. Lucie Arnaz, Luckinbill, here on the Jim Masters Show. Was that not a lot of fun, gang? We really appreciate her joining us. As I mentioned, she's a dear friend of ours and a dear friend of our show. And we always have a wonderful time with her. You know, we don't script our shows. We don't pre-plan. You know, if you notice, I don't read a teleprompter. I'm not reading a screen. Everything we do is live and conversational. And I think it's much more entertaining that way and much more enriching when it isn't all scripted and I'm just reading stuff and it's all you can tell when somebody's reading intros or outros, or they're just reading questions. And I think, you know, unless it's a newscast, I think there's a little lifelessness to it. Our show is free flowing. It's conversational. It's interactive with all of you as well. And we thank Lucie for joining us. We covered a lot of different ground, some ground we didn't cover on previous episodes of our show. She's been on our show a number of times, and you can go back in the archives and you can see the past episodes where Lucie Arnaz was a guest, and we've had some amazing conversations. We even dealt a little bit deeper into her mom, Lucille Ball, and Desi Arnaz, and I Love Lucy, and Here's Lucy, and all the shows and everything. Just about 2 nights ago, I don't know if you saw this, but the wonderful Keith Thibodeau was with us. He played Little Ricky in I Love Lucy. If you didn't see that episode, check it out on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. It was wonderful. A lot of people are viewing that. And last night we had some of your favorites, the kids of the Desilu Studios, Stanley Livingston, Larry Matthews, Tina Cole, John Provost, John from Lassie, Tina from My Three Sons, Larry from Dick Van Dyke Show, Stanley Livingston, My Three Sons, and all of them are part of Night of Dreams in September, which is going to be amazing. We talked about that as well. And these shows, these iconic shows, were filmed on the Desilu Studios, of course, lot, and headed up by Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. So they were with us recently on the show. And again, of course, we talked. There's Gail Gordon and Lucille Ball and Lucy and Desi Jr. We talked so much about a lot of different things. But happy anniversary to our wonderful friend Lucie Arnaz tomorrow. 44 years of wedded bliss for Lucy and Larry. And I had an opportunity to know Larry as well, and he's a sweetheart of a guy and a real gentleman, a class act. And I do want to tell you that I encourage you to get his book. As Lucy said, and many, many people are saying, it really is a page turner. He's so open and real about his life. You know, it isn't just all puffery and all of that. It's a real honest look at his life as he tells it in this phenomenal autobiography. So check that out. And I think you're going to be amazed by the stories and the openness of the stories that Larry has shared in that amazing, amazing book. And of course, Sabak, Star Trek, they're having all those conventions and all the epic things, TV shows, films, movies, everything that he's been a part of as well. Just really iconic stuff, you know? And speaking of the anniversary, there is when they got married. Lucie Arnaz, Luckinbill. This was 44 years ago in Kingston, New York. Lucy and Larry, really beautiful. And there they are today. And again, if you didn't see the episode where Laurence Luckinbill, Larry, was a guest on our show, you can go back in the archives. You can see this episode again, and you can see all the episodes of the Jim Masters Show live series on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. All right, just another mention of her fabulous concert performance, I Got the Job, songs from my musical past. Musical director Ron Abel will be joining her as well. That's coming up in New York in July. You can go to luciearnaz.com or straight to the venue. The venue is the beautiful 54 Below And that website is 54below.com. Just click on the calendar, and then you can see all the shows that are happening there at that iconic, legendary place, 54 Below. It's on the same site as where Studio 54 was years ago, remember, from the 70s? That's where they play off that name, 54 Below. And I'll be there actually on the 17th on her birthday. I will be there. So maybe we'll see you there as well. We got our tickets secured because we know they're going to sell out fast. So as she said, it's going to be a wonderful performance. She and Ron Abel, who is an amazing talent, they'll be there together having fun, sharing stories, and talking about all the different moments in her life. You know, she was in Cabaret and Once Upon a Mattress and Mac and Mabel and Vanities and Goodbye Charlie and Bye Bye Birdie and Lil Abner and Annie Get Your Gun and Educating Rita and I Do and The Guardsman, A Place to Stay, you know, at all different places all over the country. The Woman Who Laughed, Love Letters, Wonderful Town, Masterclass, Once Removed, a Picasso, Anne and Debbie, that's regional. And then, of course, Seesaw, Whose Life Is It Anyway? The national tour in 1980. My One and Only, Social Security in 1987. Pippin, of course, Grace and Glory off Broadway. She's been in so much theater. Pippin, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Lost in Yonkers. They're playing our song. And that is just the short list, folks. And, of course, television, you know, all the different incredible appearances on all the different movies and shows. I Love Lucy, the very first show, celebrating that. She was on Murder, She Wrote, and Who Gets the Friends, the Lucie Arnaz Show, Washington Mistress, The Mating Season, Fantasy Island. In 1977, she did a guest appearance on Captain Kangaroo, too. Did you know that? She was on Captain Kangaroo. She was in Death Scream and Who is the Black Dahlia? Marcus Welby, MD, Sixth Sense. As she mentioned, The Dean Martin Show, Here's Lucy, Kraft Music Hall, The Lucy Show, just Sons and Daughters, The Wizard of Oz, and Concert, Dreams Come True, Abduction of Innocence, Law and Order. Yeah, just some of the iconic television shows and series she's been a part of. And in film, she was in The Pack, Wild 7, Down to You, Second Thoughts, of course, the jazz singer. Billy Jack Goes to Washington, and, of course, all of her music, her recordings. You can go to luciearnaz.com to learn, you know, about some of these wonderful things that she has available that you can get, like the music and the DVDs, you know, Lucy and Desi's home movie and all the rest for those of you who are super fans. I know some of you have been commenting in the Levity Hall chat room saying you love, of course, Lucie Arnaz. You also love the work of her parents, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz as well. And I Love Lucy and all those amazing shows. Yeah. So good stuff, gang. There she is with her mom and dad, Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. And there she is with her mom, Lucy. Some great shots here. And again, yes, coming up, it's going to be amazing. Check it out. Go to luciearnaz.com or 54below.com. Once again, we thank Lucie Arnaz for joining us here on the show. It really was something quite special. And we always have a good time on our show. We love to have what we call not interviews, but conversations. And gang, if this is your first time stopping by the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle celebrity talk show series, you can peruse some almost 1,200 episodes of our show on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a like. We love when you do that as well on our YouTube channel. That helps us continue to grow. We're going to take a look at some of the comments as well before we go. So if you posted a comment, we may take a look at that right now, but be sure and give this episode a like on our YouTube channel. Click the thumbs up like, share this episode on your social media. Leave a comment for us on our YouTube channel in the comments section. We would love that. Interact with us and let us know what you enjoyed about this episode and all the episodes of our show. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, for more great content. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes with our celebrity friends and more who stop by to say hello and share all of their time with us, as Lucie Arnaz did once again. Thank you very much again for all of these great comments. I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed this. And Linda says, good to see you, Linda. Thank you for bringing all these legends to us, Jim. The pleasure is all mine. I have a kick out of it too. I get a kick out of it, hosting and producing these shows for all of you. And so it's a joy. Sherry Larson says, thank you, Jim, for having Lucie back. She is such a sweetheart. Yes, she is. Kathleen Walker says, great show. Thanks, Jim. The pleasure was all mine. Maureen, some of our faithful lovities. This was absolutely fantastic. Jim, Lucie is always such a delight. Thanks for bringing her back. Can't wait till she and Larry return to Lovity Hall. Yeah, she's got a lot of projects, a lot of cool things coming up. And Ms. Pat in Texas enjoyed it. Linda says, happy anniversary to Lucie and Larry. And Linda Johnson, you do a great job, Jim. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yep, and she's going to be headed over to the Purple Room as well. And very nice, Linda Johnson. Thank you. That's so nice of you to do that. That's what they call a super chat, which you can do in the chat room, as she did that. And thank you very much, Lucie. I have been a huge fan of your parents and you and your brother forever. I especially enjoyed you in The Jazz Singer. Love you. And Lucie can see these comments. So thank you for your support of the Jim Masters Show live series. That is so kind of you. And the wonderful Irish green that I love so much. I really appreciate that. Linda Johnson and Kathleen Walker as well. Thank you, Kathleen, in New York City. One of our big supporters of our series. Thanks for being here, Lucie. Always a pleasure seeing you. Hope to see your show. And wishing you continued blessings. You're amazing. That's wonderful. And happy birthday as well. And this is fantastic. And Kurt, Stacy's here. Good to see you, Kurt. Your birthday, I think you say, is tomorrow. So happy birthday to Kurt Stacy. Nice to see you, Kurt. And it's a pleasure to have you here as well. And everybody, Katie Powell, thank you very much. We love having you here. And all of our faithful regulars watching around the world. And you guys, yes, Affective Memories is the name of Larry's book. So look for that online. And Laurence Luckinbill. And Frank Russo says that Larry totally influenced my life. That's a beautiful thing to share. I'm sure he'd be very happy to. He's seeing this as well, along with Lucie. Larry's a fan of our series as well, and we can't get enough of him. And Joe says she can't wait to read Larry's book. Yeah, it's a page turner. You're going to thoroughly enjoy it. So again, thanks for all the love and the support and all these great comments that are coming in here and all the high fives, everybody. We appreciate it. This was a joy and a blessing. And more great shows coming up. There are so many great shows coming up. And great question, Rick Carl, earlier, which we showed about how she takes care of her voice. And if you joined us late, folks, this episode is available on our YouTube channel in full. You can watch it again. Christine Clifton in North Carolina says, hi, Lovities. Good to see you, Christine, here on the Jim Masters Show as well. And welcoming Lucie back to the Jim Masters Show. And so many great folks. Austin Field is watching and said, another excellent show. Please subscribe for great content. We thank you very much. Everybody here, Merlin in Canada, Jane in Sweden, everybody's saying happy anniversary as well. Stella Road Records made a comment, and we showed that earlier. And all these great folks, you're all amazing people to me. I am your host, Jim Masters. If this is the first time you're experiencing what we do, I work in television and radio and film and have for a long time. We're here on the East Coast in the New York area. So we will be at Lucie's show in New York City. Come see us again. Spread the word about our show. If you know of folks you would like to see on our show, possible guests, or you know people personally you think would like to be on our show, whether you work in these industries or not, let us know. Reach out to us. Maybe some of the other folks that you would like to see on the Jim Masters Show might stop by and be with us. And what a great time we'll have with them, too, like we do with all of our guests. Rick Carl, thank you very much for your kind words. A good show as always. Thank you. Thank you, Rick Carl. We appreciate you, and beautiful, beautiful work that you've done for the Lucie Awards, that image of Lucie. Very, very nice. You're very welcome, Kurt. Happy birthday again. And yeah, you guys are amazing. Good stuff, gang. And Miss Pat in Texas, good to see you again as well. And everybody watching all around the world, we have an international audience, and we thank you for your time and your energy and your support. We always say thank you to everybody watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. First time watching our show, welcome to the Jim Masters Show. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here. All right. I've been talking all day today. I was on the radio all day hosting several shows, and then I actually have a TV shoot tomorrow, which is Saturday morning at 8 a.m., and then another TV shoot with a guest flying in, some of my professional work, Sunday as well. So it's going to be a working weekend around here in the television studio, but I love it. Like Lucie loves what she does. I love it as well. All right, I think we covered it all. Just a little, post-guest chat with all of you, and always a pleasure to have you here. And yeah, the temperatures around the world, well, especially here in America, have been very hot. It was up to, I think, around 95 degrees here on the East Coast, and then we had some storms roll through. It sort of cooled things off, but it's going to get warm again. We're in a little bit of a heat wave here in the northeastern United States. But hey, as long as the weather isn't crazy, we are happy. So again, the show is I Got the Job. Check it out at 54 Below in New York City. I Got the Job, songs from my musical past. Musical director Ron Abel joining Lucie. One more time, thank you so much to the dear Lucie Arnaz Luckinbill for joining us here on the show. She's a real delight. Check out her website, luciearnaz.com. Good stuff. And yes, as she said, you heard Lucie say it herself, Desi Arnaz Jr. is fine and well. Don't believe any of that nonsense you see online. Online can be a little crazy, can it? You guys are the best. We love you all. Don't forget to take care of one another. Don't forget to love one another. And don't forget to take care of yourself. I'll be right here waiting for you for the next episode. More great guests and more celebrity friends and surprises coming up right here at JMS for all of you in Lovity Hall. Spread the word. Tell everybody to know about our series. Linda, it is a pleasure from me to you and everybody watching. I'm glad you enjoy our series. It means the world. Your feedback really does. Your likes, comments, subscribing, and all means the world to us. It lets me know that you're enjoying all this toil that goes on behind the scenes to put these shows together. And it's a joy to do for all of you. You be well. Take care. Maybe we'll see you at 54 Below. I'll be there. And celebrating Lucie Arnaz. And we celebrate you as well. I'm Jim Masters. Take care. Be well. See us again right here on the Jim Masters Show. Cheers.